welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with a Free Pattern Friday. Yay! Free Pattern Friday. I love Free Pattern Fridays. They're so much fun, and I get to show you guys some fun and interesting either blocks or things to make. So this one today, we're going to make a Burrito Tote Bag. Yes, I promised myself I wouldn't make any more three-dimensional objects for a while, but this is a viewer request, so we're going to show them how to make a really cute, fast burrito tote bag. Now, the other thing we got to do right away is our shout out. Miriam from Stitch Obsessed is having so much fun over on her channel, and I want to introduce you to her. Her YouTube link is going to be in the show notes below, as well as our Zoom sew dates, which are now listed out from now until the end of the year. And we're going to have so much fun on those Zoom sew dates. We just have a hoot from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we have people from all over, like Europe and Britain and, you know, Canada, the US, sometimes South America, sometimes Indonesia, sometimes Australia and New Zealand show up too, right? We just have a blast. So that's something you got to enjoy. We also have a YouTube link for our Facebook group, and our Facebook group is doing all the same things Facebook groups do, except we now have a virtual sew day or sewing room dedicated to us on Discord, and we also do like there's all sorts of different community chats, and one of the community chats that's my favorite is the recipe one, as well as the community chat for the free patterns, looking for free patterns, right? So if they find websites that have free patterns, they put the link in the chat, and people go look at those where those free patterns are. They have lots of fun. The other thing you're going to find in the show notes is the collaboration that's coming up. I am working with Future Cat from New Zealand, Michelle from Bits and Pieces, and Kelly from Kelly Quilts and Cruises. We are block testing, and we are having so much fun. Those blocks are absolutely stunning that are coming out of that group. I am so happy to be part of that talented group. I couldn't believe that they agreed to do this with me. I was like, oh yay, this is so good. Now, the other thing, we need you guys to share, like, and subscribe. And I talk for free. So if you have a quilting group or a quilting guild that's looking for free speakers or speakers to do their part of their monthly meetings, think of me as a person that you can do. I do a Zoom presentation. I have a PowerPoint presentation that I show. I no longer travel to guilds and all the rest of the stuff, but we're having so much fun, and I get to stay for show and tell, so we have lots of fun there too. And some of the quilts I've seen are just outstandingly gorgeous. So come on in, let's get to this burrito tote bag. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, and the first thing we're going to do is take our pockets. Now, all of the cutting instructions have been left in the show notes, but, you know, this part is optional, and I'm just going to run around a very scant 1/4 inch on this fabric, and I'm going to leave just the bottom undone so I can turn it and give it a good press. And let's see, we get to this 1/4 and we pivot there, and okay, now we're going to leave a part right here that's open. Okay, now we're going to go across. Yeah, for all the bag makers out there, yeah, don't ever worry about me taking over, like doing all these bags of three-dimensional objects. I find it tough now. I haven't sewn clothes in a while, so three-dimensional stuff is really hard for me now. But I know you guys are having fun doing your bags, but okay, so we're gonna get this, and then we're gonna just start on the next one right away. We're gonna line all this stuff up. And these, like I say, these pockets are optional. And you can put them either on the inside or the outside. I'm choosing to put them on the outside because I have found pink and blue fabric. Now, the other thing I did while we were running to the sewing machine, basically we reset up the room so that we can sew from overhead, is I took the handles and the accent. And what I did with the accent, I just folded it in two. I fold it in two, right? to make kind of, it's like a burrito pillowcase with handles, right? So I folded it in two and just we're leaving it like that. And then the handles, it was a width of fabric, and then I decided, okay, this one's going off, and I folded it in half and then folded it in half again, like so the outsides equal the center, and we'll show you what we're going to do with that right here. Okay. Ooh, I forgot to put a space, so I guess I'm putting a spacer on this one in a different place, which is okay. I can go up like this. Now this is improvised. Improvised quilting, like that. Oh, I unthreaded myself here. Hang on. I think I'm out of bobbin, so I'm just going to cut. Okay, we're back in the sewing machine. This is the top edge of our pocket, and this is going to be the top of our tote bag. Now, if I put it like this, I have to worry about centering it, and because we're using French seams and all the, it's just too much work. We're going to play with this and just put it off center. We're just going to tilt it and pin it and go for it. And you can go both sides, like the pocket is optional, but you can do this to both sides and just tilt them. They don't have to match. Nobody says they have to be matchy-matchy. It's all scrap fabric that we're using, and it just has to be fun, right? So I've kind of got it centered this way, but that's okay. Now, I'm just going to put this under my sewing machine foot, and, oops, let's get this out of the way a bit. Oh, we got to get it further out. So we're going to start right at the edge, and we're going to go back and forth just a couple of times. Remember, this is not to carry heavy items, right? This is more like, you know, grab a few things to go, like your swimming bag or something, you know, for a child or whatever. It's not like a weekender sack or anything like this. So we just top stitch around that very edge, and that's going to close up our, where'd our hole go? Oh, our hole is right over here. That's going to close up our hole. Just make sure you don't fall off the edge of this, so it looks like really nice, and everything's all finished nice, and you can wash it. This is the beauty of French seams. Doing French seams on tote bags like this is they're washable and they don't fray. Because, you know, some of the fabric now frays a little bit more than it should, I think. But methinks, but hey, what do I know? Okay, let's get the rest of this pocket on. There. Thank you. If you're using this as a gym bag, it could be holding your shampoo. Apparently my foot just decided to slip off. That was good to catch that before it happened. And that hole now is closed up, right? So it doesn't take much to close up that hole. Okay. Alrighty. Then we get to the end, back stitch, and now I'm going to do the other pocket off camera, so I don't have to, but I'm going to tilt it, right? I'm going to give it a really wonky angle. So we'll see you here back in a bit. Now, what I do when I start doing this, both of these fabrics, this dark blue and this kind of like paisley mod thing, are both with the fabric. So I'm just going to lay them out and just kind of pin them and not really go crazy on the pinning. You know, this is kind of an accent thing going on here. Just a sec here. I think I've done something wrong already here. Hang on. Now, if I want my accent is going to, at the end of the day, look like this, right? And it's going to be French up this way. So I need to put this one on almost last. Almost last. So the first one I'm going to put on, and I've dropped one of my straps already on the floor, hang on, is the one I've decided I'm going to put on as an accent. Basically, this is a cuff that goes on as an accent. Now I'm missing bits here and there and all over the place. So I'm missing the end salvage here. So I'm just going to put this on like this. Now, oh, sewing on pockets. Make sure when you're sewing on your pockets that both sides, open sides, are going in the same direction. Ask me why I know that. Because, yeah, we had made a few aprons in school where they weren't. And that's all I'm going to say. Is, yeah, the pockets were not going in the same direction. They were one of those funny things that, you know, it looked really cute. Everything was working well. And I think I'm going to move this over just a hair more. Just a bit more to catch more fabric. Okay. Now, on this, you want to place your, just a sec. Usually I have all this pinned already and everything's ready to rock and roll, but today is one of those days where rocking and rolling may not be possible, but that's okay. Yeah. So we just pin it in place across. Now, what we do is we pin these in place. Right now, what you're going to do is you're going to fold over this work. You're going to fold it in half. And you're going to fold it in half from the cut edge. This doesn't have a salvage, right? So you're going to line up your cut off salvages. And there we go. You're going to put this in about halfway. Right? Now you want them to look like that, where they're, you know, they're not twisted or anything like this. They're just here, and you have about the same width. You know, I'm just going to use the box of pins to pin from, right? A box of pins. So I'm just going to put it that far from this side here, and only going to pin through the one layer, just so I make sure I've got the room, and then go back here and line this pinned edge, and I gave it a little smushing, just a little bit, like a 1/4 inch more, not quite a 1/4 inch, more like 1/8 of an inch over. Okay, just a bit more. There, that's kind of, that's centered. Now, because I'm going to do a French seam here, I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it over a full 1/2 inch. Now, you've got these pins, everything's lining up. Now, you flip it to the other side, and it's these pins you're now matching to. These are the pins you're matching to. Okay, so you want to make sure that works. Okay, everything's there. Yeah, and like I say, I just use the length of the box here. We're also going to do some box corners on this, but they're going to be French seamed as well. They're going to be a little bit fun. You know, there. Okay. Alrighty. So here we go. That's it. So far, so good. Okay, now we're going to lay down. Oops. So we've got everything's like lined up now with our handles and everything. That's perfect. Now we're going to take an accent color. And our accent color basically is going to cover everything and make sure it's all enclosed, right? So what we want to do is we just want to take this, put it face down, and start pinning this in place. And we're going to pin, make sure that the pins are going through, including the handles. We don't want the handles, you know, sewn up into the works or anything silly like that, because that would be bad. That would just be bad. Okay. It takes longer to pin this stuff sometimes than it does to actually do the sewing. Okay, so we're just about there. Just about there. I know. I just found some of these prints were just so much fun. I was like, ooh, we have to do this one. We have to use this. We have to use that. Okay, so there we go. There's part of our burrito. Now, we're going to take this and flip all of this. Now, you see it's all pinned from edge to edge. We're going to take all of this and we're going to fold it in half, or not quite in half. It's actually easier to work on a little table or a smaller table. So I usually leave it like about an inch away from that edge because I do not want this to be caught up into the seam. So this first gets folded like this, and then it gets folded again, and then it gets folded a bit more. And then we get the straps out of the way. And now we make sure that these ends line up where you're just enclosing the, this teal, pink, blue, and you're not getting the straps hooked up, you're not getting anything hooked up. You're just leaving everything pushed in and down, and that'll be perfect. I know the pinning here is, I'm not one to pin normally, but this one is worth the time to take and pin everything. Pin everything in place. Okay. There we go. And we're going to get that. And you pin it by layer. I know there's people that can do this and they just whip through this, and I'm like, oh my lord, no, I can't do that. Okay. So, all right, here we go. We're right at the end. Okay, now, what we're going to do is I'm going to move these pins out of the way, and I'm going to run this through the sewing machine. Now, hopefully you were able to see all of that, pinning and whatnot, because that's important, that you know how to do all that. Okay, but it's like a burrito pillowcase with handles. Think of it that way, except it's not as long. I made it smaller, so it's more like a shopping bag for lightweight stuff. Okay, now with the needle down, you can clip off stuff and move along. There. Yeah, this is perfect like for a little beach bag. You know, you throw towel, sun lotion, you know, a little wrap, sunscreen, aloe vera gel to treat your burns. Okay. Go almost to the end. There we go. There. There. And we're just going to go right off the edge. There we go. Now, what you're going to do, is you're going to turn this out, pull all of this stuff out of here. This is what's that burrito. Basically, you're pulling all the stuffing out of the burrito. That's what makes this fun. And of course, in the meantime, everything's coming, your handles, your pockets, everything is coming perfectly together on this. And you've closed in all the sewn edges so far. So the little edges now you've got to worry about are the bag edges itself. Okay, and so this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so now what I like to do at this point is take this and do a stay stitching where this is up. This is also going to be pushed up, right, and away. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm just going to change the foot of my sewing machine, and then we're going to trim it. We're going to trim all the excess stuff off here, like the selvages and whatnot, and then I'll show you what we do next. But first off, we're just going to top stitch everything up. The handles, everything is going up. This accent piece is going down, right? So that you don't get confused. Okay, Now, there we go. Now, as you get to this handle, you might want to go over it a couple of times, like back and forth, because that's where the most stress is going to occur. Okay? Alright. There. We'll just get that little piece off. Okay. Now. Okay. Then this flap also helps, you know, so people don't see a great big gaping bag open, you know, when you're at the beach or whatever, or they don't see your laundry in there if that's what you're using it for. Burrito, you know, because it's kind of embarrassing sometimes. And people look at, oh, what is that? Oh, it smells like dirty socks. Oh, look, there's dirty socks. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to move that just a bit. And move this handle up out of the way. That was cute with this pink having, this pale pink having all that writing on it. I thought it was cute fabric. There. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit more to do, and then we'll take it, iron it, and then we'll start on the next step. Okay. Here we go, and there. Okay. Okay, with that, I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to give everything a real good press, and then we'll start on the next step. Okay, so I got everything ironed up. Now, what some people can do with this is they can put zippers in here if they want. They can put like buttons and buttonholes, you know, or some kind of tie together. Basically, it's there to kind of keep the, you know, the stuff, the contents of the bag close to whatever you're doing. Now, a French seam. We are putting the wrong sides together, not the right sides, the wrong sides together. And we're doing a quick little 1/4 inch seam around everything. And just like the burrito pillowcase, as we come up to the heavier bits, like right here, where that accent piece is, we go over it, and then back, and then we just run down all the way. Oh. Yeah, this is just a fun little project. Light little bag, and of course this, you know, pockets, just, you know, on the outside hanging out. Having a good time. No structure really. And it's, you could put like a quilt block. You could put facing on a quilt block, anything, right? You know, to make it washable. Because I know when I take stuff to the beach, stuff gets spilt on it. There we go. Now, we're just going to whip it around, and we are out of bobbin. I lost bobbin chicken. Okay, so we lost bobbin chicken. Let's get back to where we were before we lost bobbin chicken. Okay, and we will take this out, put a new bobbin in, because I have lots of wound. There we go. Okay. Oh, I should probably wipe that out because that's really getting bad in there. There. I've been doing so much other sewing here this week, trying to get some charity blocks done, that, yeah, my machine is taking quite the beating. It's like, now that you're home, I'm in use, but I didn't think I'd be in use all day long. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to start back and just drag. Okay, so you get to almost a 1/4 inch of where you need to be, and you give it a pivot, and you cut off all this extra stuff. Okay. we go. There, now. Here, and let's go right to the end. And now we're just gonna get our plug in there. Now we're gonna spin this. There's quite a bit of fallout thread or raveling going on here. So I'm gonna trim that off first before we start to work the other part of the French seam, because otherwise it gets unwieldy and it shows through on the finished product. So there we go. Okay, so now we just take this and we flip it the other way. We gather up all the loose stuff. We flip it the other way. Now we push out our corners the best we can, right? Just don't get too worried about what your corners look like, you know, just not yet, because we are going to do some box seams on them, right? Okay, so from here down, okay, I'm going to switch feet so I get a better foot, better view. Okay, now this is how you make your French seam. Basically, you're going to enclose all of that stuff in there. Now, what I'm going to do, make sure my handles are out of the way. Yes, they are. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to go a good 3/8 of an inch over. Back stitch at the beginning. 3/8 of an inch over. And I'm just going to hold it in place. Normally, I would take the time to, you know, iron it and all the rest of the stuff, but I'm pretty confident this is lying straight, flat. Now, as you come in across this heavy spot, go back over it. Because that's where, if it gives anything gives, that's where it's going to give. And you just pull out another flat piece. You flatten it the best you can. And you search for your foot pedal, because obviously it takes off. There. There. Now. Okay. There we go. You're still looking at 3/8, so as you get 3/8 of the way up to the corner, one more, there we go, you pivot, nice, so far so good, nice, you pivot, and, okay, this is how, okay, there we go, and now we go across, there. And we just pull at that seam just a little. You can actually too on these you can sew hidden pockets inside. You know, if you're so inclined, there's lots of options you can do with this bag. Okay, now. Okay, here we go. As you hit the end, you back stitch. There we go. And now you're going to take this and you're going to flip it like inside, or put the outside on the outside instead of the inside. Now you are going to have a few threads that are going to pop through, and you just clip them off. I mean, none of that can be helped. It's part of the sewing process. And it is what it is. Okay, so it's looking pretty good so far. Now, last up is we're going to box corners. And I'm going to show you how to box corners using a French seam, because that's something that people don't do. I don't see it done. And I'm like, well, it can be done. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it today. Okay, there's probably a few more threads that have got to be clipped, but that's okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this out the best we can, flat. And we're just going to, do I even have anything around here? We're going to draw something wide and something, I don't have a, okay, we're going to cut, I'm going to get some chalk. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got this set for 3 inches, and what I'm going to do is I'm just marking this in chalk, just like so, right? This is going to be a fairly large box corner. So there we go. Yes, everybody can see that. You saw how I did that? Okay, so now we're just going to take it, we're going to cut it out. Just like that. Yes, I'm cutting from the right side. That's fine. And I'm just going to finish cutting here. Okay. And that goes pitched onto the cutting tip. So this is what you got. I've done the other one already. Now, what we're going to do, and everybody's going, wait, you're on the wrong side. No, I'm not. I'm on the correct side. And my bag handles are getting hooked up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin this in the middle, right? Just like so, because we're going to French seam these box corners. And it's going to be very, very fast. Very, very fast. And we're going to do the other side. So we're going to pull this out like so. And we have to flip one seam one way and the other French seam the other way. Just to make sure that everything's going to sit nice. Right? When we're sewing. So this is the hard side of the box corner to do, but it works. Okay, so, and we're going to do this box corner at 1/4 inch. So here we go. We're just going to line this up. And there we go. 1/4 inch. I'm going to stay at the 1/4 inch line. Now where you hit those French seams, it's thicker. That's where you are back stitching. Over that, make sure that you've got good, you know, it's down and supported and the bottom's not going to pop off or something silly like this. And you stitch right off the corner. There we go, just like that. And we're just going to quickly do the other side because we can. And, okay, we start, back stitch. Now as we're coming up, we have a bulky spot where that French seam is, because there's only one French seam on that side. Okay, and just going to keep flicking along. Okay, and back stitch like so. Now, okay, so we've done both sides. Both sides are perfect. Now we're going to take this, we're going to flip it inside out, and we've got a box seam. Right? But what we want to do now is we want to make sure it's French seamed in, right? So we're just going to lay this out like so, kind of push it in place. We're going to take a 3/4 inch seam. Okay, there we go. And we start, we go out, or 3/8, I mean 3/8, not 3/4, good grief. It'd be thicker than my thumb. And as we get up to this French seam, we're going to go over it and just back stitch over it once. That's all you need to keep it secure. And back stitch here. Okay, now let's get to, where's the other box corner? Oops, we lost the box corner. Oh no. Okay, we'll get that one out, pushed out. Okay. Where'd it go? It went right here. Okay, so this one has 2 French seams you're going to have to work across, right? So you just want to pinch that and make sure everything is lying nice and flat. And a 3/8 seam again. A 3/8 seam accommodates the turn of the cloth and that 1/4 inch seam. It'll suck all of that extra stuff up. Now you could do a 1/2 inch seam if you wanted to, but you know, it's kind of up to you. Make sure you go back over that where those French seams are, just to make sure your work is going to lie nice and secure. There we go. Okay, and now we have our big ta-da moment. Yay! Okay, here's our big ta-da moment, people. This is it. This is our burrito bag. Now, you saw how fast the box corners were to make when you're doing it French seam style. And now this bag is completely washable. There's no raw edges. There's nothing that you have to worry about here. And you've got a good base, right? But it's for lightweight things, right? Like going to the beach with your swim towel and all this stuff, or, to put a few groceries in. I wouldn't be carrying heavy cans or whatever in it. It's probably too lightweight for that. This cuff gives you some privacy, but some people have sewn Velcro on them, so it keeps it private as well. I mean, all these options are yours. Now, the pockets I did sew on with the upside on both sides on the right side, because I've done that where I've sewn one pocket one way and the other pocket this way, and this pocket don't work so good. But it's been fun. I imagine there's bag makers out there that are just howling at this, but that's fine. I came up with a simple tote bag for people to use up fabric. This just about took up a yard, by the way, between the cuff, the body, and the pockets, because the pockets are doubled, right? I mean, I just about used a yard of fabric, so that's not bad. That's pretty good. So I do hope you give this one a try. All the pattern and dimensions, everything are in the show notes below, so I hope you have an absolutely fabulous weekend and life is treating you really good. Okay, until we see each other again, you guys take care. Bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!